All right, here we go. Let's knit a back of a sweater using a pass-up. So, we're going to start this sweater today. According to my pattern that I had created, I need 72 left and 72 right, which is basically the whole bed. I don't have a problem with this, so that's what we're going to do. I am in need of 30 rows of pre-work before I start actually patterning. We were also going to start at the back of the project because that is the easiest place to start. So I'm going to put my racking handle up to the uppermost position. I'm going to close the bed, and I'm going to rearrange the needles in 1x1 configuration. So, starting at the back, 1x1 configuration. Moving the stitch to the front. Obeying the needle rule of the back bed being the leader. And if that one goes down and this one comes in, then that one's at 71 and that one is at 70. So I need to add 2 stitches. I'm going to add 2 stitches. So we're going to go 73 left. And on the back bed, we're going to keep it at 72. So back bed 72, front bed 73. I'm not sure exactly how that works. I also said in my intro and stuff this was going to be a black sweater. I want to do a test run with this, so I'm going to make it red first so you can see what I'm doing. And then I will do black for a second sweater. Okay, I'm going to go grab a coffee and then we'll get going. Okay, let's look at our lock settings. So first row should be at NN. Okay, we have N and N. Stitch size 1.5. So that's a slight difference from our first tension swatch there. I need to knit 1 row with the orange strippers. And then I change the locks to CX and knit 2 rows. But my stitch size should be approximately 3/4 of the stitch size used for the main knitting. In our last tension swatch, we figured out that it would be 5.5. So I'm going to set it to 3. And we'll see what happens with this red yarn. At no point will we be switching to the off-white yarn for this entire project, and we're going to try and use the pushers to knit one side of the front and the other side of the front to see if we can actually do a proper neckline. So this is a new one for me, but we're going to do what we can and see what happens. So let's knit across with red here. We're in 1-1, locks are in NN. Not having any issues. Now going to tension 3. I'm going to move you guys along with me here. Okay, so I just moved the front lock to tension 3, back lock to tension 3. We're in C, X, no arrows, C, X, no arrows. I'm not moving the row counter tripper yet. And we are going to knit across 2 rows and we'll see what happens here. I'm going to move the camera, don't you worry. Okay, so that was row 1. Cleared it. Row 2. Okay, so now we need to go back to N, tension 5.5, and we will knit, I'm going to say 10 rows, so I'm going to reset my row counter, and I'm going to keep a note here, row count 0, 0, 0, knitting 10 rows of 1 by 1, and then we're going to change the configuration to 2 by 2 ribbing to row 30, and then we will start our pattern countdown. So we're going to try our best not to lose this one. So we're at row count 0, 0, knitting across in N. Everything looks pretty good. Everybody seems to be knitting off okay. So that's first row. Okay, so that's 10 rows. I'm now going to switch up to 2 by 2. Gotta locate my bodkin. I'm going to leave the first 2 on either end in 1 by 1 configuration so that I don't have to panic on how to get this to pattern properly. So first one, that makes 3 there. So this one comes down. That's basically all I'm doing, is I'm just moving up one from the ribber, or one from the front bed to the back bed, and then one from the back bed to the front bed. I'm so used to the terminology on the other knitting machines. Okay, I'm going to pause this while I do this part, and then we'll come back. Okay, so slow and steady wins the race. I'm only right here. A few more minutes. All right, so now I have transferred. I have 1 stitch here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 stitch here, 1 here, 1 here, and then we go into the patterning. This will give me a sewing edge, and because it's going to be on the side seam, it's not going to be showcased anywhere in the actual knitting. I'm now going to try and knit 20 more rows, and then I will start my pattern reader. Okay, I just let my yarn go. For me, this is very scary, just so we're clear. So now we're going to try and knit 20 more rows. Hang on. Yet again, yarn issues. I think this is working very well. We're going to continue to row 30. Okay, so that's row 30. I'm going to start my pattern reader. Alright, so I'm actually starting on the left side, which I start most of my patterns on the left side. And we're going to knit, how many rows here? A total of 328 rows for the entire project. But I'm not quite sure how many rows we knit before we do the armhole decrease. So let's get going. Looks like 183 rows. So I'm going to reset my row counter. And I have knit 1 row so far. And now we're just gonna go. Slow and steady. I'm going to come back in 171 rows and we will continue. Okay, I'm at row 84. I have 100 more rows to go. Okay, I'm at row 181. This is row 182. 3, 4. At this time I need to, it says increase. All right, so we are going to increase each side 1 stitch. So how do we do that? So increase. All right, so if she's going to move over this way, 1 stitch. And she's going to move over this way, 1 stitch. Okay. Keeping that thingy on the thingy on the thingy. Okay. Now I need to grab the purl bump. Over to here. Okay, so So purl bump moved. I don't have 2 stitches here, 1 here. Okay, hang on. Find my bodkin. Mr. Bodkin. I'm actually going to move that purl bump onto the back bed. Okay, so back bed, 1 1, 2 down, 2 up, 2 down, 2 up. Okay, going over to this other side, going to repeat it, where we're just going to move this over 1. Lead stitch over 1. Make sure the latch is closed onto the whatever those things are. Okay. Second stitch on the back bed over 1 stitch. Okay. Closing the latch. Grabbing the purl bump from my front bed. Purl bump. Okay. And I'm just moving it over to its friend up on the back bed. No, on the front bed. So over to its friend on the front bed. Moving that down. Making sure I keep my needle rule for my own safety. Okay. Making sure all needles that are not in play are out of play. Okay, it looks good. Now looks like I need to knit another 10 rows, so we're going to keep going. "14 rows. I guess what I could have done is not increase the left side, because it's supposed to be at 73 and 73. Well, that was my bad, but we'll correct it when we do the armhole shape. Eight more rows. We're at 195. 4 more rows to go. Two more rows to go. All right, so on the right hand side, we're going to reduce 7 stitches to right 66. For my ease, I'm going to move the ball onto the back bed and reduce them from there. So that would be 4. Five. Okay, let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this would be 63. Right? So 50, 60, sorry, 66. That's 60, 65, 66. Huh. Well, we'll make it 66. Not a big deal. Okay, so I'm going to pick this up. Give me a little bit slack. Move it forward. Through. Now, if I grab this with my latch tool, right? Latch tool. So it's on my latch tool. And this one is not getting me I need to work here. Okay, so latch tool onto this one. This is under so much pressure right now. Okay, closing it up. Moving that through. Grabbing it with my single eye here. On to the next one. Bringing it through. Closing it up. Dragging it through. Yeah, this is way easier with the single prong instead of the latch tool. Oh, I'm all tangled in my stripper, so I'm just going to remove the damn thing. Okay. So now I'm moving this one over onto the other stitch. Bring it forward. What a pain in the ass. Sorry for the word. Okay. Grabbing it with the single eye. Back. Over. Okay, making sure 50, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. This is supposed to be 66. Over. And don't worry if you can't see what I'm doing right now. I'm going to have to do it on the other side as well. Okay. Moving it over. Okay, I'm going to move this to 66. Over. All right. So now, double eye. Leave that right there for now. Okay. So for 66. I'm now going to move this over here. Okay. So that's on 66. I'm now going to grab the under one, underbelly. I'm going to move it on to 66. Okay. This is quite a pain in the ass for me. Okay. So we're on 66. Latch up, close it, put the whatever edge marker on there, put all the needles out of work that are not supposed to be in work. Okay, so latch is closed, needles out of work are pushed all the way back. We're now going to knit across one row, and then we will repeat over here and we'll get you a close-up. So we are now knitting across. Okay, I'm gonna get the close-up on this side. Okay, so now we need to get down to 66 on this side. So 50, 61, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 66. And this is 66. So that is where we need to go. I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side, where I'm going to move all of my stitches to the back bed. Then I'm going to chain them off carefully. I'm going to be very aware of the needle rule and make sure that the edge stitch is on the main bed, and I mean the front bed, and the back bed has the secondary stitch. So they're all moved onto the back bed. Now I'm going to repeat the action, putting everything out of work. Okay. Stitches forward, all the way back. Forward, all the way back. The downfall to the tools for the pass up is that all the ones that you need to use together are on the same frickin' tool. So when I need the pick, I also need the single prong, and they're on the same tool. That really sucks to me. You can see how I'm struggling to get it off the needles. Okay, this is the last one. $65, $60, $60, $61, $62, $63, $64, $65, $66. Okay, so now grabbing that one stitch, transferring it to the front bed, opening the latch, and to the front bed. Okay, working it on there. I don't think it's all the way on there. Nope, it's not. Okay, here we go again. So now I gotta grab that stitch. I have to pull it. I have to figure out which part of it is not on here. Okay, I found it. Okay, opened it up. Put it on 66 here. Ignore the noise in the background. That is my family being inconsiderate yet again. All of those are out of work. Latches are closed. Okay, so now we are at 65, 66. That one is one less. That is good to go. I'm going to go grab another coffee before we continue. So as you can see, it was very easy to knit up to the armhole decrease. Next up, we will continue with the decreases to make the sweater back.